Get ready to hashtag, snap, or post our commentary as we dive into all things social media. All these social media stocks are front and center, and we bring in an expert panel to discuss them. Lance Ulanoff, tech expert. Pete Pachal, executive editor of CoinDesk. It's great to see you both. I really, now is the time to take a look. We have election concerns. We have the, regulation concerns about antitrust looming. Pete, I'll start with you. Where do you see the strength, and what are you worried about most?
Well, what I'm worried about most is probably what Facebook is worried about most, and most of the other tech giants, is that the antitrust report is expected very, very soon. It was apparently delayed slightly because of some new information that had to do with Facebook's acquisition of Instagram years ago. But it seems pretty clear that there's going to be, based on some certain drafts of responses that have leaked ahead of time, there's going to be some recommendations along the lines of splitting up or creating some very clear guidelines on where these networks can compete and which ones can. And on Facebook in particular, with its many properties, including Instagram and WhatsApp, it's already, I'm sure, already preparing a defense on, why those things should all stay in the same house, because there's a very strong case to be made that it's very monopolistic and simply just stifles competition.
And Lance, what do you think when you would take a look at this? I mean, you were the editor-in-chief of Mashable. This is something you've obviously. You were eating, breathing, all things tech for decades. Tell me more about your thoughts on what we're facing here with these names.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the tech regulation goes even beyond, companies like Facebook into Amazon and Apple. I mean, they're looking at technology writ large, and these handful of companies that have become so powerful and had such a major influence on our lives. I don't think that tech regulation, company breakup is a major risk this year because we're in an election year. There's too many variables at play. This particular document that's going to be coming out from the House Antitrust Report, it doesn't have bipartisan report, which means it's going to sort of stumble along at best. There are some Republicans who were looking for more in terms of how they're handling bias. So I just don't think that's going to be a major problem. And we have this weird situation happening right now. The long arc of social media is that's become a really integrated part of our lives. And in the last 9 to 10 months, it's become a lifeblood. The way we have connected to our friends, our family, our coworkers, the way that we have organized, the way people have protested even sometimes. And so we've ended up with this tremendous sort of love-hate relationship. We deeply, desperately need these social media platforms, and yet we have this growing distrust of them, including how they're using our data. So when the dust settles, when the election is over, probably 2021, we're going to see them kind of really take a harder look at this tech regulation.
Yeah, and Pete, I know you don't recommend stocks, but if someone were to step in and say, hey, I really like this company, what they're doing, they don't seem to face as many hurdles, what company would those be? At the same time, what is all things TikTok telling you? They've averted a ban, at least for now. What's the landscape looking like going forward, Pete?
Well, I don't pick winners and losers really here, but I'd have to step back and admire what Snap has done in the last year. If you had told me a couple of years ago Snap would be in a decent, thriving, even growing position that it is today, I wouldn't have believed you. It looked like it was on its way out because Instagram was coming in and eating its lunch. It was becoming less and less relevant. And arguably it is, but it has been sort of laser focused on its product and its audience. And it is getting results. Snap is actually, I would say, very impressively positioned and kind of sitting pretty because it's also removed from a lot of these debates, sort of at least arm's length, because they're more intense on Facebook and Twitter around speech, around political issues, and those kind of big issues that Facebook and Twitter have to deal with on a regular basis. So Snap's the one I most admire. TikTok, we're kind of in a holding pattern right now. I mean, there's the judge came down and there's been a bit of a delay on any kind of ban. I'm kind of just waiting for someone to step in here, whether it's China, whether it's the White House, or someone just to say, hold on a second, this is so crazy. No, this doesn't work at all. I feel like there's another shoe that's going to drop in the TikTok fiasco, but that's just a gut feeling right now.
Right. Yeah, it's not over yet. That story continues. Lance, same to you. I mean, where do you see the strength? I know you thought Amazon was definitely a leader in the group. And where does TikTok fit in this? Are there beneficiaries? Are we worried?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, Amazon is obviously a huge winner here from our stay-at-home culture, and they're the channel through which we get everything we need now. And yes, people have started to go back out and to some brick-and-mortar stores, but the culture has changed, and Amazon is benefiting from it. And of course, they've got those other core businesses like AWS, another tech company, Netflix. An enormous power position now. Everybody watching and streaming, and they're getting their new content from there. They're not going out to the movie theaters. As far as TikTok goes, look, it's I agree with Pete. It's a crazy situation. It's really just so bizarre that the government would look to sort of step in there and pick and choose losers on who gets to own a private company from another country. I get the security concerns, but really right now it does feel like TikTok has sort of moved to the back burner. There's so much insane, crazy, wild political and national news going on that it's almost like suddenly people forgot that TikTok's future hangs in the balance. And meanwhile, people continue to post their stuff on TikTok every day and love it. So I tend to think TikTok's going to survive. I don't know whether or not it's actually going to have some sort of U.S. parent or control, but it may be something that somehow lapses into next year as well.
As tech experts, tell me about Apple. October 13th. We're all now waiting. What do you think we're going to hear? Okay, Lance, you go first.
Look, it's finally, we're getting the iPhone 12.
We're both champing at the bit.
I know, like last year we thought iPhone 12, we thought last month it was going to happen. Well, it didn't. So it's happening this month. So we know at least that we're going to get iPhone 12 with 5G. We're almost certain of that. The title on the invite is high, speed. What else could it be? 5G, right? There's some other options in there. There's maybe a new MacBook Air. Some people are talking about a new AirPods. Maybe a HomePod Mini.
Well, Lance,
maybe.
They promised Apple
Pete,
Silicon.
All right, let Pete go. I only have 30 seconds left. Pete, you're up.
I'm really excited to what they might say. Like, obviously, iPhone, it's going to be huge, 5G iPhone. But, I'm really excited to hear what they're going to say about the Mac and what they might have for Apple Silicon. Now, I'm not sure if they might be planning another surprise later, but they did say they would have something out this year. And I just want to get a sense of the roadmap, because there's a lot of Intel Macs still in the pipeline that they talked about. And I just want to, let's start getting them out there so, people can buy them before the silicon just takes over their entire product line.
Where we're going, there are no roads.
All right, well, here we go. Here we go, gentlemen. Great conversation. Thank you so much. Lots to look forward to. Lance Ulanoff, tech expert, Pete Pachal, executive editor of CoinDesk. Thank you both, Lance and Pete.